Hello everyone, my name is Brittany and today I'll be doing a third chakra Hatha flow with you. So our third chakra is located within our belly or solar plexus, and the element related to the third chakra is heat. So this chakra is all about finding energy, power, our will, and we'll be doing that by moving, flowing, creating heat within our body. It's really important to have a strong internal fire because that fire is what gives you the spark to create and do anything you'd like with your life. So today we will be using 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, that's no problem. A lot of these poses you can use without, or you can just grab a book or maybe a blanket folded up. So we're going to get started laying down on our backs today in a corpse pose. Take your time here to find a comfortable spot, lengthening your arms and your legs long down your mat, and taking up as much space as you'd like. Just taking these first few cycles of breath here, start to settle down onto your mat. Taking this moment here to move through a little body scan, starting from the crown of your head. Noticing any sensations here. And slowly begin to drift your attention down your body, down your arms, your chest, your belly, down your legs, and all the way to the tips of your toes. Noticing if there's any areas that are calling out to you. Spots that might be feeling a little bit tense or tired today. And if that's the case for you, try to send your breath to those areas to help find some release. Once you're starting to feel a bit more grounded down to your mat, begin to deepen your breath. Breathing in through your nose, nice and big. Breathing out of your nose as well. Inhale, fill up your belly like a balloon. Feel it reach for the ceiling. Exhale, hug your navel to your spine, expelling all the stale air. Inhale, fill up your ribs, expanding them wide. And exhale, contract your ribs in. Inhale, fill up your chest with air. Feel it puff towards the ceiling. Exhale, slowly release this breath. Knitting all 3 motions together. Inhale to your belly, your ribs, and your chest. Exhale out of your chest, your ribs, and your belly. 2 more cycles of breath. Just nice and slow to start. And with your next inhale, begin to reach your arms above your head. Lengthen your legs long down your mat, come into a full body stretch. Waking up here from your fingertips to your toes, take another breath in. And exhale, curl your knees to your chest and wrap your arms around your legs. You can find a gentle sway side to side, massaging the muscles along your spine. And slowing this movement down. Bring your hands towards the back side of your knees. Begin to rock and roll up and down the length of your spine, the length of your mat. Feeling every vertebrae come into contact with the ground. And after a few rocks, we'll meet in a boat pose. pose, you might have your toes down towards the ground for some support, or you can bend your legs at a 90-degree, feet floating. Hands can stay holding on to your thighs, or you can reach your arms out in front of you. Choosing to stay where you are, or you can begin to play with lengthening one leg out, switching to the other, or possibly lengthening both legs out at the same time. Begin to warm up your belly here, creating a fire in your third chakra. Try to keep a lift in your chest forward and up. You can stay here in your high boat pose, or we'll come into a little flow. Breathing in, chest lifts. Exhale to low boat, heels and shoulders will hover off the mat. Engaging your belly, rise up, high boat. Exhale to low. One more time, inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Pause for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you release your mat, curl your knees in, rock and roll. When you're ready, knock the top, cross your ankles, plant your hands, and step your feet back to a tabletop. From here, begin to lower your belly to your mat, tilting tailbone and chest high up towards the ceiling. With your exhale, round your spine, press your hands into the floor and gaze to your belly button. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, cow pose. Exhale, coil in, tuck your chin to your chest for cat. 2 more cycles here, flowing with your breath. Slowly waking up your spine, your shoulders, and your hips. Returning to your tabletop. Start to spread your fingers wide, curl all 10 toes into the floor, and press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. You can find some movement here to begin, pedaling your legs out, bending one knee followed by the other. And adding in any other movements you'd like to wake up your body here. There might be a shift in your hips, a shake in your head. And when you're starting to feel a bit more energized, slow your movements down, settling into stillness. Press your fingertips and your knuckles into the floor. Try to rotate your biceps forward, triceps will roll back. You can bend your knees slightly, helping to lift your hips up and back. Inhale, gaze towards your fingers, come high up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees and tiptoe towards the front of your mat, forward fold. Feet are hip width apart, toes facing slightly in, heels slightly out. Inhale to a halfway lift, reach your crown away from your hips. Exhale to fold and come into a rag doll, catching those opposite elbows with your hands. Bend your knees as much as you need so your belly can rest near or against your thighs and let your head hang heavy. Your legs will stay strong and still. You might find some softness and flow with your upper body, swaying side to side. Continuing to breathe nice and deep. Slowing your movements. Release your elbows. Ground down through your feet and begin to roll up to stand, moving one vertebrae at a time. Hands stay by your hips, palms facing forward, mountain pose, Tadasana. With your inhale, reach your arms up towards your ears, extend in mountain. Exhale, hinge with your hips, dive forward to a fold. Inhale, halfway lift, draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up tall, biceps come by your ears, you might gaze to your fingertips. Exhale, hinge and dive, heart leading the way. Inhale, Inhale, halfway lift. Hug your belly button up towards your spine. Exhale, release. One more time here. Inhale, rise up, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release. Ground down, rise up tall. Bring your palms to touch this time. Exhale, lower your hands to your heart center. Start to interlace your fingers, coming to a steeple mudra, keeping your pointer fingers reaching for the ceiling. Ground down through your feet. Bend to your knees slightly. Draw your tailbone towards your heels. Then with an inhale, lift your arms up high towards the ceiling. Notice how this feels here for your shoulders. If there's some pinching, you might want to reach for opposite elbows instead. Taking one more breath in, standing up tall. Exhale, begin to side bend towards the right. Finding a pulse here, inhale to lengthen. Same side, exhale to lean. One more time, inhale, rise up. Exhale, lean and hold your crescent moon pose. Continue drawing your tailbone down to your heels, releasing tension from your low back. An option to lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. Feeling the lengthening here in the left side of your body. Inhale to center. Exhale, hands to your heart. Start to interlace your fingers in the opposite direction, giving your brain a little work. Root down through your feet. Inhale, arms will lift. Staying here, holding on to your elbows. Exhale, lean towards the left. Inhale, rise up nice and tall. Same side, exhale, bend. One more time, inhale to rise. Exhale, crescent moon pose, 3 breaths here. Filling up your breath, your belly with every breath in. Try to peel your top shoulder back behind you. Inhale, rise. Exhale, spread your hands wide and fold forward. Halfway lift, create a flat back here. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet to plank, coming to a plank pose. You can stay where you are with your knees floating, or if you need some support, drop your knees to your mat. One more big breath in. Exhale, lower your chest down towards the mat. Untuck your toes. Hands stay underneath your shoulders. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to release. One more time, you can stay in your cobra, or with your inhale, rise to an up dog, floating your hips, floating your thighs. Exhale, tuck your toes, press your hips up and back. Inhale, lift your right heel up high towards the ceiling. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Ground down with your left toes, your left heel lifted up high. Squeeze your legs in towards one another, and then lift your arms up high towards the ceiling, rising to your crescent lunge pose. Lifting your back heel up high as you can, keeping your back leg straight and strong, and try to create a slight internal rotation of your back thigh. Hips are squaring towards the front of the room. And bring your gaze to one spot in front of you, helping to find your balance. Keeping your biceps by your ears, with your inhale, lean your chest forward, creating a nice long line from your back heel to your fingertips. And then shift your weight into your right foot, lifting your left leg, warrior 3. Biceps can stay by your ears, or you can bring your hands to your heart, or hands by your hips for your airplane variation. Keep your back toes pointed, flex down towards the floor. Try to keep a slight lift in your chest as if you're in a cobra. One more breath in here, staying strong. Exhale, drop your hands to your mat. Keep your left leg floating in a standing split pose. Your hands can be down on the ground, or if you have your blocks, you can bring your blocks underneath your hands. Starting to feel a bit of heat here, some fire in your right leg. Try to breathe through this. One more breath in. Exhale, drop your left foot down to your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, keep your left foot where it is, step your right foot far back. Draw your legs in towards one another, root through your feet, rise up, crescent lunge. If you are feeling a little wobbly here, feel free to widen your foundation. And then try to lift your ribs out from your hips, lengthening your body. Breathing nice and deep. Start to hinge forward. And then shift your weight into your left leg. This time, right leg will float, warrior three. Taking on any expression you like with your arms. And radiating outward from your core. One more breath. Exhale, drop your hands. Hands can stay on the ground. You can bring your hands to blocks once again. And if you'd like to challenge your balance, you can bring your hands off of their support. Bring either one or both your hands to your standing leg. Embracing the wobble if it's there. One more inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, plant your feet, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in, lengthen your spine. Breathe out, fold forward. Inhale, rise up nice and tall, gazing to your fingertips. Exhale, hinge and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet to plank, pause here. We're going to find some pulses either with your knees floating or dropped. With your inhale, try to shift your weight forward, coming onto the tips of your toes. Exhale, return to neutral. 9 more times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, keeping your belly nice and strong. Hug your belly button up towards your core. 6, 5, moving with your breath. 4, you might start to feel a little shake here. That's okay, just means you're working hard. 3, 2 more, you can do this. Last pulse. Downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Inhale, lift your right heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Drop your left heel down to 90 degrees. And then circle your arms up towards the horizon, warrior two. Rooting down with the pinky edge of your back foot, lunging into your front knee, gazing over your front fingertips. Inhale, need to reach your arm forward. Exhale, drop right forearm to right thigh. Left arm will reach for the ceiling or bring your bicep by your ear. Extended side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Staying here with your forearm on your arm, or bringing forearm on your thigh, or bringing your right hand down towards the block, or down towards the mat. Whichever pose you're in, try to maintain that deep cycle of breath. And try to maintain a nice long line in your spine. One more full cycle of breath here. Rooting through your feet. Inhale, rise up to center. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. 3 cycles of breath. Taking big, expansive breaths here. Feeling an opening in the right side of your body, right ribs. One more sip of breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat. Square your hips, step your right foot to plank, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Switching sides, inhale, lift your left heel. Exhale, plant your foot forward. Warrior two, drop your right heel to 90 degrees. Cartwheel your arms open to the horizon. Settling into your strong foundation here. Inhale, begin to reach forward. Exhale, left forearm to thigh. Right arm will reach up high. Extended side angle. Choosing any variation of this pose that feels best for you here today. And know that what you did on the right side doesn't need to happen on the left. Try to hug your belly button up towards your core, creating a bind, Uddiyana Bandha. One more cycle of breath. Inhale, rise up through center. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. 3 breaths. Your right hand can stay draped down your right thigh, or bring your hand towards your low back in a bind. Last breath in. Exhale, circle your hands to the floor, square your hips. Step your left foot to plank. We're going to hold here. Begin to roll to the pinky edge of your right foot. Left fingertips will lift to the ceiling, side plank pose. We have a lot of options here. If you would like, you can keep your feet stacked one on top of another. You can stagger your feet. Or for some support, you can drop your left foot to your mat. Leg is bent at a 90-degree angle. And if you're feeling some irritation here in your wrist, you might drop down to your forearm. You can be playful with your top leg. One more breath, try to lift your hips. Exhale, plant your hands to a plank pose and roll to the left. Roll into the pinky edge of your left foot. Right arm will lift. Gazing to one spot. Keeping your core strong, lifting your hips. One more inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, press your hips back, down dog. Notice the flow of your breath here. And if you have lost that deep rhythmic cycle, try to invite it back into your body. Inhale, lift your right heel high up to the ceiling. Exhale, step your foot forward, warrior two. Drop your back heel, rise up tall. Try to reach your arms far apart from one another, taking up as much space as you can on your mat. Start to straighten your front leg. Gazing forward, with your inhale, reach towards that spot you're looking at. Once you can't reach anymore, then drop your hand down towards your shin, a block, or the mat for triangle pose, Trikonasana. No, if your hand is on some support here, notice how much weight you are putting there and try to find some lightness with that supporting hand. If you'd like to invite a bit more fire here into your core, your third chakra, you can begin to float that bottom arm off of its support. If your arm is floating, begin to drop it back down. Gaze to your right toe, bend into your right knee. Placing your right hand on a block or down towards the floor, about a foot in front of you. Shift your weight into your right foot and begin to float your left leg off the mat, half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Your foot, hips, and chest are rotated towards the side wall. Your left arm can be reaching for the ceiling, or if you're a little bit wobbly here, bring your left hand to your hip. Notice how stable you're feeling in this pose. And if you'd like to challenge your balance, try to float your right hand off of the block, off of the mat. Staying nice and expanded like a star, or coming into your sugar cane by bending your left heel in towards your hips and trying to catch hold of your left foot with your left hand. 2 more cycles of breath. If you're in sugar cane, release your foot, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands, left foot stays where it is, right foot steps back. Drop your heel, lift your arms up towards the horizon, warrior 2. Notice where your shoulders are. If they're creeping up towards your ears, try to relax them down your back. Lengthening your front leg. Inhale, begin to reach forward, pressing your hips back. Exhale, drop your left hand down to your shin, a block, or your mat. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Notice here if it feels like your chest is drooping forward. And if so, imagine there's a wall behind you and you're trying to lean your chest back onto that wall, opening your heart towards the ceiling. Your bottom hand can stay where it is or begin to float your hand here, 3 breaths. Feeling some work in your core, feeling the fire grow. Transitioning into half moon, drop your hand if it's floating, gaze to your left toes, lunge into your knee. And begin to shift your weight forward, right leg floats, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Your gaze can stay where it feels best, whether that be down towards the mat, towards the side wall, or up towards the ceiling. Option for your sugar cane, bending right heel in towards your hips, catching hold of your foot with your right hand. 2 more cycles of breath, trying to stay strong here. And if you fall out, no problem, come right back in. If you're in sugar cane, release your foot. 1 more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet to downward facing dog. Come up high on your toes, begin to roll forward to a plank pose. And we're going to stay here and slowly lower down for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release to your belly. Bring your hands by your hips. Palms facing down, and rest your forehead towards the mat. With an inhale, start to lift your chest, lift your arms for a half locust pose. Option to lift your legs as well for a full locust. Keeping your gaze just a couple feet in front of you, so you're maintaining a nice long line in your spine all the way to the crown of your head. See if you can find some lift here in your chest as you breathe in. And exhale, release down, resting on your cheek. You can sway your hips side to side. Setting up for 1 more locust pose, or coming into your floor bow. For floor bow, bend your heels in towards your hips, catching hold of your ankles or your feet. With your inhale, begin to lift your chest here. Floor bow. You might even notice that there's a slight rock as you breathe. That's okay. Trying to lift your chest a little bit higher with every breath in. Take 1 more big breath in here. Exhale, lower down. Release your feet and sway them side to side. Slowly bring your legs back down to the ground. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Inhale to a tabletop. Exhale to a child's pose. Sink your hips down to your heels. Foreheads rest down to the mat. Coming back to your deep breath if you've lost it. And noticing how your body feels here as we come towards the end of the practice. Maybe you're feeling a little bit hotter, a little bit more energized. Trying to not label any of these feelings as good or bad, but just simply acknowledging what is. Starting to rise up onto your knees. And come into a kneeling position. Hands come to your hips. Extend your right leg out towards the side. You'll want your knee to be pointing up towards the ceiling, and your foot can either be flexed or pointed. Open your arms wide into a T, take a big breath in. Exhale, drop your right hand to right leg, left arm will lift up and over for gate pose. Feeling a length and opening the left side of your body. And maybe after a few cycles of breath, your right hand slides slightly further down your right leg, deepening the stretch. One more cycle of breath. Engage your core here, rise up through center. Hands come to your hips, draw your right knee in. Switching sides, begin to extend your left leg out. Knee will point to the ceiling. Arms open wide, breathe in. Exhale, side bend towards the left for your gate pose. Your gaze can stay where it falls or draw your gaze up towards the ceiling. And try to peel your top shoulder back behind you, rotating your chest and your heart up to the ceiling. Breathing nice and deep, creating space between your right ribs. Then with your next inhale, rising up to center. Hands to your hips, draw your left knee in. Lower your seat down. Switch your hips over to one side of your legs and then circle your legs forward. Bend up to your knees, bring the soles of your feet to your mat. Hands will come by your hips, fingertips pointing forward. Ground down through your feet, ground down through your hands. With your inhale, lift your hips up high towards the ceiling, coming to a reverse tabletop or a desk pose. Your chin can stay tucked here, or if it feels okay for your neck, you can begin to peel your chin back. Staying really strong in your core, lifting your hips up as high as you can. One more breath in. Exhale, release down. We'll do one more desk or option for inclined plane pose, where you will lengthen your legs out in front of you. Draw your legs close towards one another. Press your heels, press your hands. Inhale, lift your hips for desk or inclined plane. 3 breaths. Try to fill your belly up with every inhale. One more breath. Exhale, lower your hips down. If you're towards the back of your mat, scoot your hips forward. Reach your arms towards the horizon as you breathe in. Exhale, lower your chest down, moving one vertebrae at a time. Happy baby pose. Draw your knees in towards your armpits. Lift the soles of your feet to the ceiling and catch hold of the inner or outer edges of your feet. Pressing your feet into your hands, hands down into your feet, helping to keep your tailbone, your low back rooting towards the mat. You can stay where you are or begin to rock your baby, shifting side to side. Slowing your movements down. Release your feet and curl your knees into your chest. Give your legs a big hug here, a big thank you for practicing. Draw your forehead up towards your knees, squeezing into a tight ball. Take a big breath in. Exhale, open and expand to your corpse pose. Making the complete circle. We're finishing where we started the practice. Take some time here to wiggle around, adjusting this posture as needed. And then once you've found that sweet spot, try to relax completely down towards your mat. Feeling the heaviness of your muscles and your bones hanging down to your mat. Feel the support of your mat beneath you. And with every exhale, feel yourself growing heavier and heavier. Imagine that you're sinking down to the mat, down to the earth beneath you. Pausing here for a few breaths in your deep rest. Start to slowly wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, waking your body up. And circle your wrists and your ankles. Reach your arms above your head with an inhale, coming to a full body stretch. Exhale, curl your knees to your chest. And roll to the right side of your body for a fetal pose. Just taking a moment here. Whenever you're ready, slowly press yourself up, coming to a comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes closed, your gaze soft. Bring your hands to meet towards your belly, your solar plexus, your third chakra. Just take this moment to reflect back on your practice. Noticing all that energy, power, and strength that you created within your body. Imagine that you're bottling this feeling up, all of this energy. And then throughout the day, when you're feeling a little bit tired or sluggish, open this bottle up and try to tap back into this feeling. Tap back into your power, your strength. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.